Very good morning, dear students. In this video, we are going to look class 10 chapter number 1 of civics, that is power sharing. Here is the content of this chapter and what we're going to look in our video. Four important topics of the chapter. First, keywords of the chapter. Then second, that is the two models of power sharing. That is the Sri Lankan model and Belgium model. Then third number point is why power sharing is desirable. And fourth is forms of power sharing. Pay your 100% attention. After completing this video, you all will be able to tell the meaning of power sharing and the forms of power sharing in a very precise manner. So let us start our video. First, keywords. So there are two important keywords in this chapter. First is power sharing. What do you mean by power sharing? The distribution of power is known as power sharing. Means when you distribute power, that distribution of power is known as power sharing. Very simple. And in many ways powers are distributed. Powers are shared between various organs of government and between various levels of government, also between various social groups and pressure groups. As you know, here in India we have vertical power sharing as well as horizontal power sharing. Means power is shared among different levels of government and among different organs of government. That's what we are going to look in this chapter further. Now, second important word is majoritarianism. Now, what do you mean by majoritarianism? Majoritarianism is a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. Very simple. In a country, if a particular community is in majority, if it disregards the minority and does everything according to its own will, by disregarding the wishes, by disregarding the aspirations of the minority. So this kind of concept, this belief is known as majoritarianism. In this chapter, we are going to look that how Sri Lanka followed majoritarianism. Now, let us start reading furthermore. So here you can see first Sri Lankan model and Belgium model. First of all, look at the Belgium map. This is the map of Belgium. The capital of Belgium is Brussels. Here you can see this is the capital of Belgium, Brussels. Now, Belgium is divided among various parts. Here you can see on the basis of language. Wallonia region, here it is marked with the red color. Flemish region, it is marked with the yellow color. And there is German speaking people all live here. Now, furthermore, how many people? Means in Flemish region there are nearly 59% people who most of them speak Dutch. They are the Dutch speakers. And this is the Flemish region. Then there is a Wallonia region. And in the Wallonia region, there are nearly 40% people who speak French. They are rich and powerful. Now, the rest of the person who speak German, they are nearly 1%. As far as Belgium is concerned, in Belgium, the situation is different. In rest of the country, Dutches are more in number. They are nearly 59%. But in Belgium, they are in minority. And French people are in majority. This is the concept of Brussels. Brussels is the capital of Belgium. And Dutch are here in minority and French are here in majority. Now, further about Sri Lanka. Now, this is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. As we looked about the Belgium, here Sinhala community, and most of the Sinhalas are Buddhist. They are nearly 74%. Rest of the peoples are different and most of them are Tamils. And in Tamils also they are nearly 18%. In Tamils also there is a further bifurcation, further division, where Sri Lankan Tamils and Indian Tamils. It was considered that earlier some of the Indian Tamils from Tamil Nadu region, from Madras region, they went to Sri Lanka in the time period of Britishers. So there are Indian Tamils as well as Sri Lankan Tamils. Sri Lankan Tamils are more in number. So they are nearly 18% total Tamils and Muslims are there in 1%. So this is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. Now further, how both Belgium and Sri Lanka followed the power sharing. That is what we are going to look in this video, and that is going to be very, very interesting for all of you. How Sri Lanka adopted an opposite view of Belgium. How power was shared in Belgium in a good manner, and how power was shared in Sri Lanka in a bad manner, where majoritarianism was followed. So let us look further in Sri Lanka. So in Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka faced civil war also due to this. So Sri Lanka followed majoritarianism. Now you all know what do you mean by majoritarianism? Where the wishes of the minority are disregarded by following the wishes and aspirations of only majority. And here in Sri Lanka, who are in majority? We just looked. Here you can see 70%, 74% Sinhalas. So Sinhalas community disregarded Tamils, and they just followed majoritarianism concept. So that's why this was the reason, majoritarianism was the reason that Sri Lankan Tamils felt alienated, and therefore civil war also broke out in Sri Lanka. That was the bloody civil war. A lot of people were killed in that civil war. Why the civil war broke out in Sri Lanka? Because of majoritarianism followed by the Sinhalese community. Now these are the reasons. Dominance of Sinhalese community due to majority. In 1956, first of all, an act was brought in the Parliament of Sri Lanka where Sinhala was made as the official language, only official language. And in the politics, and everywhere, in educational institutions, in higher posts, in jobs, Sinhalas were given the priorities by disregarding the Tamils. So preferential policies favoring Sinhalas in university positions and jobs. And even the state to protect and foster Buddhism. How can a state or a nation can foster a particular religion? So it means that Sri Lankans, they just disregarded the minority, they just followed the concept of majoritarianism. And therefore, what happened in Sri Lanka? A civil war broke out, a bloody civil war. A lot of people were killed there in the civil war in Sri Lanka. Now, what Tamils did, how they felt. So if a particular community, if they are disregarded, what they will do? Now the Sri Lankan Tamils launched many political parties and struggles for recognizing Tamil as an official language. They demanded autonomy, equal opportunity in education and jobs, because there were nearly 18% Tamils. Now many political organizations was also formed demanding an independent Tamil Elam. Tamil Elam means separate Tamil state. So there was a famous, or you can call it an infamous organization called LTTE, Liberation of Tiger Tamil Elam. It was the furious and very dangerous organization. It was regarded as the terrorist organization, however, later on. And this terrorist organization, just what it did, they just launched a kind of brutal struggle against the Sinhalas, and there was a civil war broke out between Sinhalas community and Tamil community. So this Tamil Elam, separate nation, was demanded by LTT and many other political organizations of the Tamils in North and Northeast Sri Lanka, because they were there more in number in North and Northeast of Sri Lanka. Now, as you know, civil war broke out. Why civil war broke out in Sri Lanka? Because of following the majoritarianism. Now you all know what do you mean by majoritarianism? Disregarding the minority and following the majority only. This kind of concept is known as majoritarianism. Very simple. So if in any country civil war breaks out, then what happens? Obviously social, cultural and economic setback. A lot of problems are faced by these countries where the civil war breaks out. Now next, power sharing by accommodation in Belgium. Now we just discussed about the Sri Lankan model. In Sri Lankan model you just saw that how Sri Lanka followed majoritarianism. Now what about the Belgium? In Belgium also there was division on the basis of language. There was the Flemish region, Wallonia region. Now how Belgium followed the accommodation? How Belgium accommodated everyone? Now Belgium followed a different approach. It accommodated each community. It followed the concept of democracy by regarding each community by not following the majoritism but following equality kind of concept. Now, equal number of ministers from Dutch and French speaking areas in the central government. So Belgium followed, and in power sharing, what kind of mechanism was made there in Belgium, that in the central government from the Dutch region and from the French speaking region, they will be in equal number. So obviously both will not counter each other, they will be in equal number. So therefore they all will feel that we all are accommodated here in our government. This is our government. As this kind of thing did not happen in Sri Lanka, where the majoritarianism was followed. Only Sinhalas were given the priorities. Now second point, no single community can make decision unilaterally. So unilaterally, on its own way, no single community can take decision. It will have to take, the decision has to be unanimously. Now third point is transfer of power from the center to the state. State government will not be subordinate to the center, means there will be separate state governments also, and those state governments will be given much of the autonomy also, much of the powers. Now separate government will be there in Brussels with equal representation for the French and the Dutches. So as we talked about the ethnic composition of Brussels, there also we looked that it was quite different. So there also in Brussels, the equal representation will be there. Now formation of community government elected by the people belonging to one language community, Dutch, French and German, wherever they live, this has power disregarding. So community government kind of concept was also introduced in Belgium, that only people belonging to certain language, means because here in Belgium the division was on the basis of language. There were Dutch speakers, there were French speakers, there were German speakers. So they will have their own separate community government. Community government also was given some of the powers. So it can just save the culture, preserve the culture and education and language related issues it can work on. Now this was the concept followed in Belgium. Now what was the result of power sharing? This kind of, the country united respecting the feelings of different communities and regions. So in Belgium, the country, by following such kind of method where regarding each one equal, what happened actually, the country united because it respected all the people, the feelings of the people, as it did not happen in Sri Lanka. And what happened there? Civil war broke out. Now Belgium and Sri Lanka, however both are democracies, elections are held there, but differences are power sharing arrangement is different. In Belgium, power sharing was done in a proper democratic way, whereas in Sri Lanka what happened? The majoritarianism concept was followed, and afterwards they faced the problem also. So this was the concept. That's how Belgium and Sri Lanka, however both are democracies, but they followed different approach of power sharing, and they had the result of that power sharing different approach, because in Sri Lanka the civil war broke out, whereas in Belgium everything was peaceful. Now next, why is power sharing desirable in a democracy? There are two types of different things, like prudential and moral way. In prudential way, you can say that when power is shared, then each community can trust. They have the coordination there in themselves. Then what happens? It reduces the conflicts between social groups. Because when power is shared, each group feels equal. And there is a stability of political order. Better outcome comes. So these are the prudential reason. On the basis of that, you can say that power sharing is desirable. And it is the spirit of democracy also. Because as you can take example of India also, when we were under Britishers, what we used to say? We used to say that give us power, self-rule, Swadeshi. So the moral reason is very simple, that it is the spirit of the democracy. And people have the right to be consulted for governing practices. Power sharing is valuable. So moral as well as prudential, both reasons are there that power sharing is desirable. And power sharing is the very much ethos of the democracy. It is the value of the democracy, that power must be shared. Now, why in a democracy should political power be distributed? Now, people are the source of all power. People rule themselves through institutions or self-governance. Due respect is given to diverse groups and views. All have a voice in shaping public policies. So therefore, these are the reasons that political power must also be distributed. As you know, in India, we have different political parties, and many a time coalition government is also made in center and in state. Now, coalition government, where two or more than two political parties just come together and they form government. So, power is shared among different political parties also. And political parties are also, they have the, politically, they have their share in the power. So, power sharing is very much important in any democracy. Now, forms of power sharing. Now, as you can understand, just take simple example. As you know, in any company or anywhere you can find this example, even in your school also, where power is shared. As you can take example of our own school, where we have a director who has certain powers. Then, because he is director, he has given much of his power to the principal, you know, to look after the day-to-day administration of the school. Now, principal has also distributed power to the coordinator or to someone else to look after the management and administration of a school on the basis of day-to-day. So, you can just imagine when power is shared in your school or in a company or anywhere you can see, then obviously in a broad manner in a country, in the governmental perspective, the power also obviously will be shared there also. So forms of power sharing. Power, first of all, among different organs of government. And as you all know, you all are in grade 10th, class 10th, there are three organs of government: legislature, executive, judiciary. So power is shared among these three organs also. Executive has its own role to play, has its own power, whereas legislature has its own power, whereas judiciary has its own power. So here also you can understand the power is shared among different organs of government. Now, this is the checks and balances kind of power, where each institution checks and balance. There is a balance. We cannot give all the power to the legislature alone. We cannot give all the power to executive alone or judiciary alone. So therefore, constitutional, the forefathers who made the constitution, they just adopted this kind of power sharing, where power was shared among different organs of government. And this power sharing among different organs of government is known as horizontal power sharing, because all these organs are considered equal. So therefore, this is regarded as the horizontal form of power sharing. So no organ gets the unlimited power. There is a checks and balances. There is a limit also. Now this is the horizontal form of power sharing, where power is shared among different organs of government. Now, vertical power sharing, where there are levels of government: central government, state government, and local bodies, local government. This is known as vertical power sharing. So among different levels of the government. So power is shared among different levels of the government also. That is known as vertical power sharing. When, as you know, as just take an example of India, we have a three-tier structure, where we here in India we have central government and state government, and there are local governments also. So power, that's how it is distributed. That's how it is shared among different levels of government. And this type of power sharing is popularly known as vertical power sharing, because there are different levels. As you know, previously, this different organs of government, this is known as the horizontal power sharing, and this is the vertical power sharing. Now what next? Power is also shared among different social groups, religious and linguistic groups, and this kind of power sharing accommodates social diversities who would otherwise feel alienated. So accommodating different kind of social groups, this is also part of power sharing and linguistic group. Just take simple example of reservation. As you know, certain communities here in India are given reservation. This is also part of power sharing, where due to some reasons reservations is given. However, by reservation, the power is distributed, and that's how the social communities are accommodated. So this is also parts of and forms of power sharing. And what next? Power is also shared among political parties, pressure groups, movements influence those who are in power. So that's how power is also shared among different political parties and political groups also. Whereas you know, There is a concept of coalition government where two or more than two political parties come together to form government. That is also part of power sharing, where two or more than two parties have their share in power. So this is also forms of power sharing. Now, in a summarized way, what we have looked in the form of power sharing, that power is shared among different organs of government. That is the horizontal power sharing, and no organs get the unlimited power. Each organ can check the other organ, and there is a balance in the power. Now, second is among different levels of government. That is popularly known as vertical power sharing, where power is shared among different levels of government. At the central government, that is the government of India, like take example of India, then the state government, then the local government, then different social groups and linguistic groups. That's how social diversities are accommodated. Then power is shared among different political groups and pressure groups. So that's how this chapter is complete. Now I hope that you all are able to tell these three important words or four important content which I told you earlier, that you will be able to tell after paying attention, 100% attention, that what do you mean by power sharing, what was the Belgium and Sri Lankan model, and what do you mean by majoritarianism, and forms of power sharing, why power sharing is desirable.